Hello, everybody. Cynthia Akarachi, and I have a dear friend of mine, Joe Boccuti, with me today. We're doing a broadcast live on Facebook, and I wanted to share first my story and how I found Joe Boccuti and share with you this amazing company that has just changed my life. It gave me hope. It gave me the energy I needed to share my story and to be the entrepreneur that I am. And I just wanted to do a quick 2 minute background of who I am, Cynthia Akarachi, and then I'm going to introduce Joe in just a moment. So it first started in 1991. I was diagnosed with autoimmune disease, ulcerative colitis, and I was just devastated because the doctor said, eat what you want to eat. If it doesn't work, don't eat it. Lower your goals because you'll always be sick, and take this medicine the rest of your life. Because we don't know why people get it, but this will help the inflammation. And I read that medicine and I wasn't excited. I said to myself, as I was crying, I said, I'm going to heal my body holistically and then I'm going to share it with the world. And I didn't know how that would happen because I had so much anxiety from being sick, and I lived in a very out of balance situation with the anxiety and the illness. And it was really hard, but it was my dream to heal myself holistically and share it with the world. So fast forward 2008, I ended up getting a parasite from a lemon when I was on a date one night at a restaurant. And as soon as I sipped the water, it was just gross. I was like, oh my God. And I put it aside, and because I was on a date and I had anxiety, I forgot. And I took another sip of this water. And before I knew it, I was in the bathroom. It had totally, I lost a lot of weight quick. I was in the hospital. I was down to 88 pounds. I needed 2 pints of blood. I was just a mess. And then I lost hope. I lost hope. I was like, I'll never be able to heal holistically. I was exhausted. I had brain fog. I was a mess. I couldn't digest. And then as the story goes, the next 4 years, I struggled. In 2012, I went to go see my uncle, and he's like, oh, I have energy. I'm losing weight. I feel good. I just got this new system. You got to see it. And he was so excited. And I said, oh, yeah, let me see it. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I have brain fog. I can't get work done. And he introduced me to Time USA that they had at the cafe. And I was like, oh my gosh, can I come and fill a water jug, please? And I would come in with these big 2.5 gallon jugs and fill up my water, wash my vegetables, and just they called me the water girl. I was there all the time getting my water, and I would start it on. My aunt got the water, my mother got the water, my friends were getting the water, and finally I said, I got to get this machine. I can't keep coming to this place. So in 2016, I met Joe Boccuti. And I'm super excited to introduce him. He's been an amazing watching him grow his company for these last few years. I've been just checking in with his company because I knew someday I was going to be healthy and have my brain back and have my energy back so that I can share this message with you and to share Joe Boccuti. And so he's a successful entrepreneur. He's doing everything that I see successful entrepreneurs doing online and face to face. So please welcome Joe Boccuti, and I'm super excited. And I want to first hear your story on how you found the water, because I just shared my story, and I think it's really important to share the, how water has changed our life in such an amazing way.
Sure. Well, thanks, Cynthia. I've heard your story several times, and I'm really impressed with your dedication to recover. And I was in very similar dire straits growing up. I didn't know it. I just kind of, the same way you said, you just kind of think that's the way things are going to be. And for me, it was mostly just a lot of stomach issues. Always had a hard time putting on weight. Was really skinny as a kid,
Yeah.
and just kind of got carted around from doctor to doctor, and they all had different ideas, and eventually just kind of decided that was how things were going to be. It was just going to be this way. And without getting into too much detail, I pretty much hung it up like you did. You know, you said, "Oh, at some parties, like, man, this is how I'm going to be," and then it seems like for some people it's right away. For some people it's years later. You say, "You know what? This isn't how it's going to be. Like, I'm not okay with it." And I was kind of in that transition, but I was actually doing hypnotherapy around the country for weight loss and for smoking cessation to groups of hundreds of people, sometimes thousands of people, and I seemed like I always had, no matter where I was or what I was doing, I seemed to always had to run to the bathroom. And I was doing this seminar, and it was kind of a tricky thing because I'm trying to do hypnotherapy to a group of hundreds of people, and my stomach's giving me issues and things like that. So, long story short, I sneak out, I get back in. One person knew that I was gone for a few minutes because they were all kind of in this hypnosis state, and that person kind of approached me and at a later date and said, what's going on? What's wrong? And we got into it, and she talked about this stuff called alkaline water, and that was going back probably almost 15 years ago now. And after maybe like you, after everybody has so many different things for you to try, you're like, oh, whatever, that's not going to
Yeah.
work. You know how that is.
Yeah,
So
I tried a lot.
exactly, and the reality is 99.9% of things don't work. But you tend to never want to stop trying because it can't really hurt as long as it's not nothing too insane. And some people, maybe you came across some people that are really have some crazy ideas. They're like, take 6 ounces of that and 10 ounces of this and mix it together and run on a treadmill and stand on your head. So people have crazy ideas, but this sounded reasonable, and it was alkaline water, and it was properly created alkaline water, and it changed everything for me so much. I dedicated my entire career to it, and wound up overseas creating these machines that now are small enough to have in your home. Years ago you had to have millions of dollars to have one of these giant machines in your home for just athletes and movie stars who seem to have known about it for a long time. But now the technology is such that you can actually have it in your own home. And I don't know if you want to speak at all about the properties of the water, but you talked about energy a little bit, and there's a couple things that can really either add or subtract to energy levels. Number one is doing the wrong things, right? So even people that are drinking regular water, you don't know what's in your water. You don't know if there's arsenic in it or if there's lead in it or whatever it is. It can be sucking your energy and draining your health. So the first thing you want to do is just kind of get back to square one with what you're doing wrong. And that's kind of stage one of our machines, the water ionizers, is getting the water back to being pure and clean. And then from there, as you know, there's now almost 700 clinical studies done about hydrogen. And it was a mystery about why this water was doing so much for so many people, especially from energy levels, which we can talk about. But it turns out it was mostly the antioxidant levels and the hydrogen in the water. So it was a game changer for me. When I decided I wanted to start this business and dedicate my life to this business, nobody knew what it was. It was like trying to sell some obscure thing, and they're like, "What are you talking about?" If you went to a shopping mall and asked 1,000 people, "Hey, what's a water ionizer?" or "What's alkaline water?" none of them knew. Now you can go to a mall and you can ask sometimes 10 people, "Hey, you ever hear of alkaline water?" Everybody's heard of it now. It's on shelves everywhere. And what people don't understand is what they're getting in a bottle isn't actually ionized alkaline water. It's just kind of a gimmicky thing. And to make it pure, you have a machine, which now. So help me understand what I can best talk about to help your viewers.
Well, what happened, I know a lot of the difficulties with the health. People don't realize the eating sugar, eating wheat, and eating things that bog down that system can mess up the absorption and cause that problem with energy, like you were saying. Like, what are we doing to block the energy? And how the water helps you absorb so you can have energy and it's more alive, so you have more energy. Just like, what? How does that work?
So you're at the cellular level is really where everything matters. Doctors tend to focus on treating symptoms, not causes, right? And that's really what the big epidemic is in America. It's like, oh, you have a problem, here's a pill. The pill's not designed to treat what's wrong with you. It's designed to help you feel better in most cases, right? Like when you take Tylenol or you take Advil, it doesn't cure you. It just tricks you into thinking you feel okay, right? So it gets people in a lot of trouble. And now, with the opioid epidemics and things like that, it's really leading into more and more issues because instead of a doctor saying, hey, let's fix your back, he's like, oh, your back hurts, here, take these pills. Your body becomes dependent on them at a cellular level and at a mental level. And next thing you know, you're in a real trouble with addiction. But what we care about most at a cellular level is something called ATP. Have you ever heard of that?
But yeah, I love chemistry and class. I just thought it was fascinating.
Yep, yep. So adenosine triphosphate is ATP, and it's kind of hard to say, so everybody just kind of calls it ATP. But ATP is basically the fuel or the energy that your cells use. If you were to look inside the mitochondria of cells, you'd find ATP, and that is what is energy. Essentially, is that chemical. And the tricky part is how do you make more of it, right? People think, oh, oxygen, oxygen's key. And oxygen's good because you can't really make energy without it. But hydrogen has now become what doctors are finding is the missing link. Because what happens is when they're together in the right compounds, when you have something called diatomic molecular hydrogen, that converts into ATP. And so essentially, your body needs that oxygen and hydrogen, and the one that's always short. There's plenty of oxygen right around, but hydrogen, even though it's the lightest and smallest molecule in the world, it's not as plentiful as oxygen. So when your body goes to make energy, you tend to get in a situation where you don't have enough hydrogen to turn into ATP, and it goes further because your body actually has different rates at which it burns energy. Like there's something called phosphagen, your phosphagen system, your glycogen lactic acid system, and the third one is your aerobic respiration. And your body burns energy at different levels, at different intervals. So when you start doing anything, whether it's any sort of even moderate exercise, any ATP that you have in your cells or in your system is gone in about 3 seconds. It just kind of like disappears. And then that phosphagen system kicks in, and that's kind of like step two and that only lasts for 8 to 10 seconds. That's where like you see people running 100-meter dashes or 40-yard dashes or powerlifting or a real quick sprinter, something where you need just a little bit of energy, or I should say a lot of energy very quickly. That's kind of that next step. From there, if you're exercising for longer than that, it goes into this glycogen lactic acid system. And that's kind of the next level. This would be someone running a 200 to 400-meter dash or maybe a 100-meter swim. Nothing real long. And that'll give you kind of enough energy to get through that. Then it goes, if you keep going, these triathlon guys, these Ironman runners, these marathon bikers, all these different things. That's when this aerobic respiration kind of kicks in, and that's kind of the different stages of ATP. But you really need to have that huge amount of ATP to work with oxygen to give you energy at a cellular level. It's very scientific, and people think, oh, I'm tired, I need coffee, or I need some kind of. People always seem to be reaching for fake energy, right? Caffeine or sugar, and you know what happens with that, right? It always winds up in a crash. So the science is generally about 10 years. I should say the marketing is about 10 years behind the science. So the marketing, the science came out in 2007. We started to see more and more doctors talking about hydrogen all across the world, from Asia. I mean, everywhere across the world, people talking about hydrogen. Now we've hit over 600 double-blind clinical studies talking about, hey, at a cellular level, you need ATP. How do you create it? You need hydrogen. And this water that we create, we put this water through, a system, a computer, and platinum titanium plates that separates the water. And when you get that alkaline water, you have sometimes 1.2, 1.0 parts per million of hydrogen in that water that's readily available for your body to absorb easier because it's restructured water and to turn into ATP. And that, if you truly want energy, that's where you get it from.
Right. Yes. Thank you for explaining the chemistry. I love chemistry, but I can't explain
Yeah,
chemistry.
I hope I didn't get too far. And if you get me on a tear, I'll start going way too far
No,
into chemistry.
I love it because I know like the balancing of equations we have going, we have too many positive ions. We need more negative ions. And I believe that that's the whole idea of what we're doing with alkaline water, and the same idea is balancing those free radicals they are called. And
Correct.
so,
Correct.
and that's why when I found this machine, I was so dehydrated that my fingers were like wrinkled, like as if you just got out of a jacuzzi. And within a few minutes of drinking the water, they puffed up and they were puffy. And I was like, oh, wow, I'm getting life back into my body. So I knew, and I have a picture if anybody wants to see it. I have a picture because I'm like, look at how sick I am. I can't absorb the food. And so what's going on with this is just a miracle. It's like bringing me back to life. And I really was in a place of despair. Like, I don't know if I'll ever get through this. It had been few years of me not being able to absorb. And I was so skinny and frail, and people had no energy to heal. None. Like, I didn't know how to do it. I lost like hope. I guess despair is where I was. And
Hmm.
so when I found the water, I was like, wow, when I get better, I'm going to tell everybody about this water, because it just changed my life. It really did. And
Hmm.
I'm so thankful to that you took the time to do this with me, because I don't think people really understand the science behind it. They say, well, you were really sick and you needed the water. But tell them, how it serves everybody. I mean, everybody is looking for that coffee and
Yeah,
right.
I mean, hydrogen. Again, if you look at these, if you saw these almost 700 clinical studies, hydrogen is the smallest, lightest antioxidant in the world. It penetrates the blood-brain barrier. It has a positive effect on every single major organ in the body. So it's so small and it's so pervasive. It affects everything in a positive way. There's never been a negative study found about hydrogen. So regardless of what's going on, if you just want more energy, you need that ATP. If something's not feeling quite right with you, hydrogen is an amazing antioxidant. It's an amazing scavenger of free radicals. And sometimes just giving your body what it needs to heal itself is the answer.
Yeah, I needed that. I needed to give myself, my body, something to help it heal. And I could sit and do meditation and breathe and eat right, but I just wasn't hitting it to maximize my energy level. And that's why I titled it to, help maximize your body for ideal health, because I was just looking for that answer. And and I'm so thankful that you took you went, it's hard to take a product that nobody knows anything about and really bring it to the marketplace. And that's why I just love this guy. I really do. You changed my life. You have a similar story to me. I'm super thankful that you went through. I'm sure you had the ins and outs
Of
of
course.
bringing.
Yeah, everything was ups and downs. I mean, like you said, it was a product nobody heard of. I'm over in Asia. I'm trying to talk Korean and Japanese and trying to, figure out what's going on. And of course, everybody told me, what are you doing? That's not going to work. Nobody's going to want that. Nobody knows about it. And it was tricky because, you've got all these different government regulations. FDA doesn't really truly want people to get better. They want to be
I
able to
know.
keep they want to be able to keep medicine being sold. So it was a lot of ups and downs, a lot of late nights saying, you know what, forget about it. It was stupid. And if you stick with it, oftentimes just when you feel like you're at the end of your rope, that's when something changes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you for your time. I know that you're busy. I am so grateful to have this. I have the water now in my house. I don't go down and fill jugs anymore. I have the new ACE 11, and which has the hydrogen boost. And I have a website which I can put up on the screen here. That's my website. And we have on the website, we have different what do you call it, PDFs of information that we didn't go over all the benefits. We just focused on energy because energy and absorption. If I didn't get my absorption back, in the energy, I wouldn't be here right now. I would have still been a wrinkled little raisin trying to figure out why I don't feel good. So if you want to know more, go get the PDF. Explains the different attributes of water. And anything else, Joe, to sum it up?
Well, look, I mean, your listeners should go to your website. They have a 75-day trial period. Over the last decade, I've been doing this. Plus, there's been less than a 1% return rate. So everyone that gets these things in their home and tries them feels a difference. And the blood video is also on your website. If your listeners want to see somebody's blood at the cellular level change instantly just from drinking this water, it's a really cool video as well. So they can go to your website, kind of start exploring, and do the 75-day trial and see what it's all about.
Yeah, even better. You don't need more information. Trust us. Go for the 75-day trial.
Yeah, I mean, everything's there if you need it, but the only way you're really going to understand is if you try it.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I agree. Well, thank you so much for broadcasting live with me. I'm super grateful that you did all the ups and downs, and like I say to my entrepreneurs that, if you have a vision, you have a dream, keep going at it. Don't let anybody stop you from doing what you want to do. And I had a dream to heal myself holistically and share it with the world. And I had to get over my anxiety and rebuild my whole digestive and elimination system to be able to do this. So here I am, I'm doing it. I'm living my dream. Joe's living his dream. So, if you're tired and exhausted and feeling despair, just tune in and stay connected, because you don't have to be in that low state. You can have high energy and feel good in your body. So thank you so much.
All right. Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hold on here. Bye-bye.